Welcome to EDCI 721 Learning Strategies and Study Skills. In cases, this course is still listed as EDCI 786, but it's the same thing. My name is Dr. Vicki Sherbert. I'm an assistant professor in the College of Education at Kansas State University. I'm looking forward to working with you over the course of the next 4 weeks. This four-week course is designed as an exploration and a review of learning strategies and study skills that will engage and empower our learners in order to meet rigorous cross-disciplinary standards. The Common Core State Standards Initiative document states that students advancing through the grades are expected to meet each year's grade-specific standards, retain or further develop skills and understandings mastered in preceding grades, and work steadily toward meeting the more general expectations described by college and career-ready standards. As our students advance, they must be equipped with a wide variety of study skills and learning strategies. This course will explore research-based strategies for empowering our learners and will help us connect them with the skills that they need to develop stamina and engage in cross-disciplinary tasks. We have 3 course texts that we'll be reading over the course of the next few weeks. The first text is called Texts and Tests, Teaching Study Skills Across Content Areas. The second text is Learning to Learn, Student Activities for Developing Work, Study, and Exam Writing Skills. And then a very recently published text, Academic Moves for College and Career Readiness, 15 must-have skills students need to achieve. As I went through the process of selecting texts for this course, I was searching, of course, for material that was grounded in research, but also tried and true. And I feel like we've got a good blend of those prerequisites that I had set for myself during the textbook selection. We will be reading the majority of all of these texts, and I would like you to do that within the context of your past, your present, and perhaps your future educational situations. I'll ask you to consider yourself as a learner as well as an educator, and consider what things were beneficial to you as well as what things will be helpful for your students. This course is organized in weekly modules, which you can access in the left sidebar by clicking on Modules. I will post an outline of each week's course readings and assignments that can be accessed in each module, or you can access those by clicking in Files and Content in the sidebar. I've also posted a syllabus and outlines of chapter readings and course assignments for the course. Because this is a 4-week summer course, the time goes so very quickly. However, I know that summer schedules can be complicated. The weekly outlines are based on a Monday through Thursday, a 4-day timeline. However, once those outlines are posted, you can feel free to work ahead, or if you need an extra day for the readings or discussions, please feel free to take that as well. I also have all of my contact information here at the bottom of the homepage. Since it's summer, I'm kind of in and out of my office, but you can always text me at my cell phone number, which is also listed here. I'd like for us to take a quick trip through the modules here in the course just for the first week. You'll click on that in the left sidebar, and the first module is called Syllabus and Assignment Guidelines, and in here I have our course syllabus and then some guidelines for our 3 major assignments that we'll be doing over the course of the next few weeks. At the end of the second week, you will write a reaction paper to the readings that we've had so far, and then at the end of the 3rd week, or the very beginning of the 4th week, you will submit a reflection paper on the Academics Moves test, and then the guidelines for your final project, which is a presentation that could have a very practical application for you with your current teaching situation, will be due on the final day of class. You can access the guidelines for all of those in this module. For week 1, I begin with an outline of the course readings and the assignments, but I've also grouped that in a table. Both of those documents really show the same thing, but you can take a look at both of them and see which you'd like to use to guide your progress throughout the week. We also will have 4 discussions that you can access here, or as I mentioned earlier, you can always access the discussions in the sidebar. Let's take a quick look at the week 1 outline for the course for the first week. The texts that we will be using will begin with texts and tests, teaching study skills across content areas, and also learning to learn, student activities for developing work, study, and exam writing skills. For day 1, I have a discussion called Let's Get Acquainted. You can find that, as we just saw, in the first week's module. You will be already watching this introductory screencast. You can take some time to explore and go through the weekly modules in Canvas, as some of them will be published right away and others will be published later in the week. Be sure that you preview the documents in the syllabus and assignment guidelines that we just took a look at. And then on the first day, for your reading assignment, you need to take a look at the introduction in Chapter 1 titled Learning How to Learn in Texts and Tests. And then in the book, Learning to Learn, please read Unit 1, the topic of which is Managing Time and Space, and also Unit 5, which is titled Learning. Then we have a discussion prompt on the discussion board that you may reply to. So we can take a quick look at that. We'll go back to the modules. And if you take a look at the day 1 discussion, let's take a look at that. You're asked to please respond to the following prompts. In the introduction in Chapter 1 of Texts and Tests, the author asserts that learning how to learn should be the main goal of schooling. How do you respond to this assertion? The units in Learning to Learn provide teaching suggestions for activities that help students develop necessary strategies and study skills to become successful learners. These suggestions are followed by student activity pages that can be used in a variety of settings and adapted for a variety of learners. The units that you explore today focused on time and space management and the concept of learning. Based on your experiences as a learner and an educator, how do you perceive the importance of either or both of these strategies and skills? And you may just click reply and record your response there. The last thing that I would like to bring to your attention, I'm going to open the syllabus, and this just gives a quick overview of the points and the assignments that we have for the course. We'll open it this way. You will have 6 discussion posts. Each of those are worth 5 points. During the 3rd week, when we begin reading Academic Moves, there are 3 planning page assignments that you will be asked to do, and each one of those is worth 10 points. You will write a reaction paper that is worth 50 points, a reflection paper that is worth 40 points, and then your final project is worth 100 points. If we return one moment to the week 1 module, I wanted to show you this other document. This is another way that I've outlined your assignments and readings. This might be a little bit more concise and easy for you to refer to. So we'll take one quick look at this. And it's just a table with your readings on this side and the assignments or the things to do for that particular day on this side. As I mentioned at the beginning of this screencast, I know that summer can be hectic. If you run into any snags, please don't hesitate to call me. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer emails. I respond to texts. I really am honored to enjoy this part of your journey with you as we explore learning strategies and study skills. Have a wonderful day.